It's the Valley's geekiest, most in-depth weather video. It is weather for Weather Geeks here on the 28th day of March 2017. Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a deep dive into the weather in the short range, and we'll take a look at the longer range as well, including the month of April. And as we start thinking about the growing season, which is usually defined as the date of the last freeze until the date of the first freeze in the fall. So we're going to take a look at some of those issues, but let's do a little review first of what happened today. Of course, not a very nice day today. Kind of a murky day, but still, love looking at time-lapse videos even on cloudy, uneventful days. So let's take a look at this time-lapse from our Columbiana camera. Damp start to the day. The rain and drizzle tapered off by midday, and the clouds continued staying pretty thick all afternoon. Only a couple of peaks of sun here and there during the second half of the day today. Now, the rain last night behaved pretty much as expected. The rain late last night, early this morning. We got about 2/10 of an inch officially at the airport. Downtown, pretty close to 2/10 of an inch as well. Boardman, a little less than that. Same in Latonia and Canfield. Austintown, about 1/4 of an inch. And down towards Guilford Lake, New Waterford, about 1/4 of an inch. And that's pretty much what we told you would happen, was that there would be an average of about 1/4 of an inch across the region. Temperature forecast today was not very good. We had a bust today. We called for 59, but the temperature flatlined this afternoon and even started retreating back into the 40s. We got a northerly breeze going in that very, very cold Great Lake, Lake Erie. Even though we're not exactly, right next to Lake Erie, it still has an influence, and I think some of that lake cooled air filtered down, especially into the northern part of our viewing area. And that happens to be where the Youngstown Warren Airport is, where our numbers come from. The southern part of Columbiana County got into the mid-50s today, but we didn't stand a chance to get that warm around and north of Interstate 80. All right, this evening we still got our deck of clouds around. The stratus clouds will be with us all night long. The storm system that brought us the rain last night and this morning is pushing up through parts of New England. Another big-time, big-ticket severe weather outbreak going on across parts of Texas and Oklahoma this evening. Severe thunderstorm and tornado watches out. Several reports of tornadoes. Unfortunately, seen reports of a couple of fatalities. They were storm chasers, apparently. Got into an auto accident chasing storms somewhere in Texas. I haven't looked into this real carefully yet, but very unfortunate news. Whether they were storm chasers or not, it's, of course, tragic news out in Texas with the severe weather out there tonight. All right, back here at home. We're going to hang on to the clouds all night. Now, tomorrow starts pretty cloudy. Can't even rule out a few patches of fog. I think it'll be real sparse, though. I think it's just mostly just clouds. But then, hey, look at this. The clouds should evaporate, for the most part, by the afternoon, increasing sunshine midday and afternoon before clouds roll back in for tomorrow night. Now, Thursday morning, our model's not showing anything here. I guess I wouldn't be shocked if there was a rain shower or two Thursday morning. Don't think it'll be much. By far and away, the better chance to get wet will be later Thursday and into Thursday night as this low-pressure system pushes east. Pretty soggy day coming up on Friday. I think off and on rain is the call for Friday. Might taper off towards evening. All right, this next rain event is out of the range of some of our shorter range models, but the GFS in the red and the European in the purple here, pointing to a healthier rain event than the one we just had this morning. The GFS and European models both have over an inch worth of rain here locally with that next rainmaker. Hey, don't forget tomorrow evening, the free Skywarn Storm Spotter training put on by the National Weather Service will take place in Lisbon at the vocational school. This is at 6:30 tomorrow evening. If you can't make it to this one, there'll be one in Austintown in Mahoning County in April. I believe it's the 18th. This gets you certified as a storm spotter. This is a very cool thing the Weather Service does. It is a basic training, how to identify certain kind of clouds, certain types of patterns in the clouds, funnel clouds, etc., shelf clouds, hail, everything you need to know regarding how to give the Weather Service and the broadcast meteorologists good weather information when we need it. You guys are our eyes and our ears, so if you're not certified as a Skywarn Storm Spotter, I encourage you to head down to Lisbon and check that out. All right, as we get into April and May, we're going to be talking a lot about this. When it's safe to plant, when's a good time to say, hey, we're probably in good shape now as far as the last frost and freeze. Well, here in Northeast Ohio and Western PA, you got to have some patience. Over the last 10 years, here's a look at the dates of the last freeze, and that's defined as 32 or lower. Last year, it didn't occur till May 16th. The year before, it was May 23rd before we had our last freeze. The 30-year average is May 4th. And that's just for a freeze. When we talk about hard freezes, that means temperatures under 30, in the 20s. Here's a look at the last 10 years. Last year it was April 14th we had our last hard freeze, but as recently as 2013 it was into the second week of May, May 14th. The 30-year average for the date of the last hard freeze is April 28th. So we've got a solid month to go before you're really safe to plant a lot of things here in our parts of the country. We can get some sneaky freezes deep into the season, even in the middle of a warm spring. And March is going to end up pretty close to average temperature-wise. I think April has a better chance of being warmer than average. This is a look at the latest European long-range modeling for the month of April, pointing towards a cooler than average April in New England. Spring may get off to a slow start there. Maybe cooler than average up in the Pacific Northwest as well. But the odds are tilting towards it being warmer than average in the month of April here locally. As far as precipitation goes, pretty good signal here off the latest European modeling for wetness in the month of April. This is a signal for probably multiple severe weather episodes from Tornado Alley into parts of the Mississippi Valley, maybe parts of the lower Ohio Valley. Not as confident about the severe weather risk being higher here. I do think we'll probably have more severe weather this spring and early summer in general than we've had the last few years. Now, that's not saying much. We just haven't had that much severe weather the last few years. We might just kind of get back to normal this year. But anyway, April may end up being a fairly wet month. Now, as we talk about the month of May, this is the latest American guidance, the climate forecast system modeling, and I'm not sure this has the right idea. It shows a pretty warm signal in Canada into the eastern U.S. I would suspect there's going to be more cool areas than this is showing. It's showing cool on the west coast, but I guess I wouldn't be surprised if that cool zone expanded into the Rockies and Plains. Whether it gets here or not, I don't have a lot of confidence in right now. But I think in general, when we look at this map, it's not showing enough cooler than average temperatures across parts of North America. So that's for the month of May. We'll, of course, have more on May as we get a little closer to that month. But right now, April looking warm and wet. Of course, there'll be days that aren't warm and wet, but when we look at the month as a whole, that's the way it's looking right now. That's it for tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for watching. Check out 21 News at 11 tonight for the 7-day forecast and everything else you need to know. And I'll see you back here for more Weather Geeks Wednesday evening.